All right, we are live now.
We're rocking. What's up?
Coming to you from is it rainy in State College or is it sunny?
It was raining earlier in the day, but now it's cloudy, but no rain.
All right,
So
man.
it's
Well, we are a lot of okay. I'll show you. This is
yeah.
big.
Give us a tour.
There's the clouds,
Okay. A
blue
little
sky,
cloudy.
blue sky in the afternoon at this hour. It's 2 o'clock, two after 2 in Bogota.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you're just an hour behind.
yeah, yeah. When you get blue skies in the afternoon, it's good, man. Yeah, we had some nice sun and yeah.
Is this the typical weather right now?
Uh, yeah, it's typical, like low 60s, low to mid 60s. It'll go up close to 70, but with the sun, it's really intense. The sun in the Andes, it's like
Oh,
yeah, it's so you gotta just be ready for it at all times. So sometimes it'll just feel like it's in the mid 80s, and
even
that's
60 though. Even when it's at 60, it feels 80.
yeah, it can be 65. It'll feel 20 degrees warmer. Yeah.
Wow. And you said the Andes, or you said like the Andes Mountains. Is that
Yeah, the
or what?
Andes. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, okay, but it's pronounced Andes.
Yeah. Well, here it is, man. You ready? Here's your Spanish lesson. So
Yeah, let's go.
anybody can pronounce Spanish because there are almost no exceptions, and you follow the vowels. For us, it's A-E-I-O-U, but in Spanish, it's A-E-I-O-U, and they're always
Oh,
pronounced like that, right? So
A-I-O-U.
every word, A-N-D-E, Andes.
Andes, Andes. Ah, okay. It's pretty like
Ooh.
straightforward.
It's very straightforward. It's really easy to pronounce. So, like, university is universidad. So it's uni, A-I-E-O-U, univer, like ver. It's
Univer,
not ver. It's
univer,
universidad.
ver, dad,
Cidad. Ah,
universidad,
universidad. Yeah. So anyway,
universidad.
yeah, exactly, man. So
Yeah,
you can pronounce everything in Spanish once you get that. Once you get those vowels down. A, E, I,
yeah.
O, U.
That's just the
Yeah.
thing, remembering the sound associated
Yeah.
with it.
You
Yeah.
say it enough, it just sticks in your mind, and then you can go with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, this is it, man. So I'm in my crib. There's a picture of Laurie and I.
Is
Uh,
this in Colombia too? Or is this
this is
is
actually in New Jersey. This was the steps of the office where I had my office. That's where we first met. Long
no
time.
way.
40 years ago, dude. Almost
Wait,
40
this is
years.
when you first met? Wait, can we go
Yeah.
back to that one more time?
In there was my office at Rutgers University.
No
So
way.
Lori's office to complain about me, to tell me I was a jerk. She didn't like my class, and I ended up agreeing with her. I didn't like it either, and then everything just went downhill from there, as far as she's concerned. This is a cool
That's so cool.
donkey.
What? That's sick.
Yeah, that's
Where'd you
cool,
get
isn't
that?
it?
Yeah. What
It's
is
a
it supposed to be?
Mercado de Pulgas. Yeah, it's
Ale
Don Quixote.
pulgas.
Pulgas is flea. Yeah,
Pulgas.
yeah,
Flee.
yeah. Here, I'll
Oh,
take you
like
on a tour.
like
Right?
escape, like flee.
Yeah, yeah, like flea market. Yeah, this is from Haiti.
Ah,
Pretty cool, right?
wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
And
See,
this is,
look at the color schemes, the yellow, the purple.
yeah, we're
Ooh,
into color, man. This is a
yeah.
photo of the pros at Penn State in the elm trees.
Wow.
Yeah,
Where is this at?
that's at Penn State in front of Old
Wow.
Main. We took that photo when we blew it up.
That photo is
Yeah,
electrifying. The For some
yeah,
reason
it's
for me
cool.
it's showing up as very blue and like electric.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
starfish? What is that?
This that's actually a shell that we found at Bettystown, Ireland, 40 years ago. Man,
No way.
yeah, isn't that cool, dude? That's the cool thing about getting old. If you can, if you have these memories of of like relationships and people and stuff. This is the painting we bought down here, man. This is our pride.
Mm.
Isn't that cool?
Ooh, yeah. Do you have a painting like that in your home? It's like very
Yeah,
abstract like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
This
like
is
this is cool. This is like one we
yeah. It's
think about
beautiful.
bringing it home, but it just sets off the I don't know, it just sets everything off here. So anyway,
I'm trying to think about what
so
kind
this
of
is it.
art that is. Ooh. That's so
You
this is
see,
the living room and then the kitchen's right next to it? Is that
yeah, yeah.
okay?
It's not
Are
very
these
big.
typical of like standard apartments in Colombia?
And they no, I don't
Or
see people having colors like this. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But one thing that's kind of cool, that's typical here is notice the doors. What do you notice about the doors?
Definitely it seems like a different kind of wood or something.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, but they go all the way to the ceiling.
oh, wait. Oh, you're right. My door doesn't go to the ceiling. It stops.
Yeah. Rare in the US that doors will go all the way to
And
this.
I wonder
Yeah.
what their architectural reasoning for that.
I don't know. You know what? I've never asked. I'm going to ask somebody like what that is. But
Yeah,
that,
I'm
yeah.
curious what's said. Okay, so is this like an was it so that was like an office, living room, bedroom? It's a nice snazzy little modern apartment.
It's just the living room with a little kitchen. It's small. It's in one bedroom, but two and a half, 1.5 baths. Because you gotta. Clemens got the bath thing
What,
down. Everybody gets their own bathroom.
what has you over there?
So we have a master bathroom in the back. It's not that big. I mean, when
Hmm.
we say master, I mean, it's a full bath, but that's where the shower is. But then we have this other bathroom there. Yeah.
What brought you to Colombia this week?
Um, just needing to take care of a couple things. We have some water damage from the problems with the windows, so I had to meet somebody down here to
Okay.
see if get them fixed.
Hmm.
And getting down here, like I just there's something. I think for me, uh, when I first traveled abroad, um, it's awakened something in me. My first
It
trip was to French-speaking Montreal, and like it was just a section of Montreal that was French speaking.
Montreal.
Everything was French, because that was before the Quebecois, the Canadian government passed the law, and like French is the official language basically, I think, in Quebec. But
Okay.
we I don't know, something awakened in me, right? So then my next trip was living in Spain
Wait,
for
something
6.
awakened in you to
Yeah,
go to
about just
Montreal?
being outside the US, being in a land where it's a different culture, different language. You
Got it.
know, yeah, I didn't want to study French. I ended up studying Spanish, and then I went um, to Spain for 6 months, and that really and then traveled Europe after that. So it just awakened something in me, and I always knew that I'd have some kind of spot, or I wanted to have some spot that I could go back to. And it's
Mm.
hard to, yeah, it's hard to say that. So that's very much kind of what this represents for me. I walk around the neighborhood, and it just like it settles me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what have you done so far this week that, you've been able to satiate that part of is it just being there or are
Being
there
here, walking around, it's a cool city. This is a cool part of the city. There's so many things. We live near a park that's, uh, dogs everywhere, kids everywhere, all day long, all night long. I mean, like, man, I mean, Bogota, here's the thing, right? I had this experience last night. I was walking home. I had dinner with a friend, and I was walking home. And Bogota, by most measures, is a pretty uh, dangerous city, right?
okay.
And when you compare it to a city like, uh, I don't know, Seoul. I mean, there's so many. I compare it to Seoul a lot because, there are all these like red zones in Bogota. Like, 2/3 of the city is red, meaning
Really?
it's high or extremely high levels of violence. Okay,
Right.
so
You don't find yourself over there.
nah, you're just kind of like, whoa, what? In Seoul, there's not even a single city block that would be in red. It's like nothing. Okay, so
Yeah.
imagine this massive sprawling city of Bogota, Colombia. They're about the same size, population wise and area wise, and half the city's in red, and then another probably 25% is in orange. So
Wow.
it's like moderate violence, anyway, our
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
our neighborhood is moderate violence, right? It's orange, but not violence, but like
The
crime,
neighborhood that
just like,
you're in right now.
yeah, where we're at. Okay, so last
Mhm.
night I've been thinking about this, and what it means is that, when I'm in Bogota and I have my cell phone, like, I'm not lying, uh I could go I could have streamed from the park near here and just kind of talk about things. And maybe I will. Maybe I'll just like pop on my phone and walk down to the park.
Yeah,
But
head out. Give us a tour.
right. But the problem is someone comes by on their bike and swipes my phone. I'm like holding it out here and boom, there it goes. You know what I mean? In the middle of a lot. Okay. Is it likely to happen? No, it's not likely to happen, but it happens. Okay.
Are you a target?
And it never
As
happens in
a
Korea. Like, it's never, ever, ever going to happen. Right.
right.
So
Uh,
it's that kind of thing, there's stuff like that, like you're thinking about it. And so I was walking home last night about 10:30 or so, and it was dark, and I was cutting through a couple parks and neighborhoods, and it was quite often, it was a Tuesday night, so there weren't any people around, and I was thinking, wow, like, why fear, like crime, is so much in our minds. It's so much just in our minds. Like, it's
yeah.
really safe here. It's very safe. I'm walking home. Walking through a dark park, but like there's nobody around, and it's like, okay, like I could get robbed. I would never ever even think about it in Korea, but here I'm in Bogota, right? So, and I try to stay with the paths and the street lights and so on as much as I can, but I'm realizing that I feel very safe here, and
Yeah.
so much of it's the psychology of fear that
Yes.
really, like, there's cities in the U.S. where I'm just not going to go hang, but I mean there are city blocks mostly, because that's what it is. It's not a city. It's certain blocks. It's certain small areas. That's where all the violence happens, and
Mhm.
So it was funny that when we were in Chicago a couple years ago with a former student of ours, we went to his school, and then afterwards he drove us home back to the hotel. And
Yeah.
his school is in a really, really dangerous neighborhood of south side of Chicago. So, like, where when the kids are let out for school, the police come and they block off the streets, and like, it's crazy, man. It's just,
Wow.
whoa, right? So we're like, all
Right.
right, well, it's like, here we go, we'll go home. And what he did was he he went down this street, then he turned, these are all city blocks, right? It's cuadrados, like square blocks. He went down this street, then he went here 2 blocks, and then he went here 2 blocks. Everything's fine. Windows are open, doors are unlocked. We're just cruising along. But
Yeah.
yeah, he went here, back over here, up here, way down here. As long as he stayed off the dangerous street blocks, it was
Oh,
fine. Perfectly fine. No,
wow. So literally
yeah,
navigating away from the red zones.
yeah,
But
exactly, man.
you kind of had to. Like it was because I mean, if you're
Yeah.
avoiding streets, it's got to be pretty serious. If
Yeah, well,
you're
in south side of Chicago, it's fairly serious. But even then, it's like, look, crime, right?
even
Most people commit
uh
crime. against people they know. Most people commit crimes. You're in the most people who are committing crimes are people who are already living on the edge, and they're committing crimes against
Right.
other people who are living on the edge, whatever that means, against
Right.
family members. It's rarely strangers that are the victims of violence. And when it's random violence. So it's like, damn, man. But the point being, what
You,
I thought I was thinking last night was, it's so psychological that we're in a space that's dangerous. It's so psychological, man.
it,
Like you. Whoa.
Sam, I think I told you this story before, but I was with Drew in New York when I was moving him in to Colombia. Well, I was helping him move into Colombia back when he was uh he was in college, and there was a time where it was like 2 a.m. and we were walking through the streets of Harlem at like 2 a.m. and
Yeah.
for me, like just you have him and then you have me and like white man and like there and
Brown
I'm
guy.
not around anyone that looks like me, and
Yeah.
what are these guys doing here? Like they're not a part. And like it was completely fine. It was so cool to see that. I think I've told you this before, but like it was so cool to see that to be a part and like in that community, and like in the beginning there was a little bit of like uneasiness or like discomfort and
Yeah.
but like what that realization that you had was kind of the moment that I had because I was like, wow, like it's really not bad, like the idea that something, and I wasn't aware of like what the crime rate is in Harlem and like whatever. I wasn't aware of what that is. So I don't even know if it's high, but yeah, just having the experience and like actually going through it,
Right.
and uh, just having the courage. I don't know what it is, like the courage or just allowing yourself to fight through like the
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
that something bad could happen. And then
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
totally cool. And then the reflection of that experience is like, wow, the narratives that I once thought, actually
Okay.
did exist in that moment,
Yeah. So
you
here,
know?
think about the
Yeah.
word Harlem, right? Harlem is, or the Bronx, right? The Bronx is like, oh my God, the Bronx, right? And so, but part of Harlem, the word we hear it, it's like, well, black Harlem, and so black people unsafe, right?
Yeah.
And there are parts of Harlem that are definitely you wouldn't want to be walking around at 2 a.m, man. There are like different blocks and groups of blocks and so on. There's no question about that. But the majority of Harlem you can walk around at 2 a.m, man. That's like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Here, I have a number for you. We're gonna do a class. We're gonna do an entire class on this.
Yeah.
This guy calculated. He ran a calculation. Now we're talking about crime here, right?
Mhm.
750,000. Okay.
Okay.
750,000. Okay. So hold that
Uh-huh.
number. We're gonna do a class.
750,000.
And we're gonna call it 750,000. That's it. That's gonna be the name of the class. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
So here it is. You ready? So this guy
Um,
calculated that you'd have to let your child, in order for your child to get in the average neighborhood in the United States, okay, in order for your child to get kidnapped, the average neighborhood, which is like, just say 95% of neighborhoods in the US, whatever it is,
uh-huh.
people are afraid to let their child outside because they'll get kidnapped, right? It's like, oh my God, there'll
Right.
be a problem, but one is kidnapped, right? It's like, oh my God.
Right.
In order for your child to get kidnapped, on average, if every child played in the United States in their front yards, unsupervised, no adults around, okay, by
Uh-huh.
themselves or another child, it would take 750,000 years for that kid to get kidnapped.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's how rare. That's how rare stranger kidnapping is, man. You could let your kid
Wow.
outside and play and be like, oh my God, we have to keep watching because somebody might pull up in a car and throw them in the car and drive away. All these fears that people had. And this dude calculated, yeah, it would take 750,000 years of your child playing outside for that child to get kidnapped.
Wow. On average, like on average. Is that
On
on
average.
like kind of thing?
On average. Yeah.
Wow. And that just like that is so mind blowing, to think because
Yeah.
that's a direct argument to, or not argument, but like to
Yeah.
the idea of fear, that fear dominates, or the psychology of fear dominates
Yeah.
like the enforcing of narratives, and also
Yeah. Yeah.
like avoiding. Man, that's so interesting. I wonder if how does that play into like gentrification? And
Oh.
I don't, for some reason,
Well,
I'm like, because we
yeah,
want
well,
to,
it plays in, right? This is the thing. And then what happens is, so gentrification is people buy into neighborhoods that are on the decline and then they
yeah,
redevelop. Well, if they're
right.
on the decline, that means there are going to be higher rates of crime. And for the most part, right? Sometimes they'll go into a really thriving neighborhood and and then people will tear it down. But the neighborhood at that particular block or 2 blocks or whatever is really thriving. It's like families living there, been there for many years and that sort of thing. I lived on a neighborhood, on a city block like that in New Brunswick. Well, half the block had been living in their homes for decades. And the other half was like kind of new people in rentals and knuckleheads like me and that kind of stuff. But it was Black, Latino, and Puerto Rican, right?
Mhm.
This was the vast majority of the people living there. But the half the
Mhm.
block was, man, it was like everybody working in their yards all the time and out in their yards and outside and like really, really just engaging. So it's like, when you
Yeah,
walk that half of the block, you never feel unsafe,
because
But
there are
the other half
people
of the
around
block,
you.
yeah, but the other half of the block also, like I walked it only, I mean, I lived there for 3 years. And one time I had some young kids kind of come after me. One time it was late at night, and that was it. I never had any problems.
Wait, what happened with that? What do you mean
Not
come
kids, they
after you?
tried to mug me, but I
Oh, they
ran
did?
faster. Yeah,
Oh, you ran.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
saying that not saying that you shouldn't.
Yeah, so
But
it's not like it's whatever. I mean, even here, like people swipe phones and that kind of stuff. But the point
yeah,
being, it's the
that
fear. It's the fear that keeps us hostage. Yeah.
yeah. Man,
You know,
I feel like there's so much to unpack in that. I want to like stay. That's so interesting.
yeah. Well, I
Like
mean,
how that infects our society.
dude, it affects our society. It infects our minds, and then we allow ourselves to do things that. Well, listen, you listen to Donald Trump right now. I just heard him this morning, and it was the BBC. They said, or somebody in his administration, they want to send 2 million undocumented immigrants back home in the next 4 years, right? Then they're never going to get all 10 or 11 million or whatever, but their goal is 2 million. And these are only the most dangerous people. It's like, dude, come on, man. Undocumented immigrants anywhere in the world are your least dangerous people everywhere. So you're going to be, but once you put that in
Because they're
people's
trying
minds,
to,
yeah, you gotta justify it. So people have in their minds like, oh, these are people who have committed crimes. Like you don't get 2 million undocumented immigrants. People they don't commit. They have the lowest crime rate of anybody. First off, crime rates are relatively low everywhere. Okay, everywhere, relatively speaking,
really.
relative to the fear people have of crime. And
Uh,
then secondly, they're at a particularly low in all over the world right now, except in just certain places. And thirdly, of
right.
all the groups and crime, people who are undocumented, who don't have papers and aren't dug in a place, always have commit the lowest
Right.
amounts of crime.
And
Well,
so
except
this
by
isn't,
you know,
yeah, and so this
just
is
by
just another go ahead. Sorry.
just by breathing, they're committing crimes, I guess, because you're undocumented. But
Right. But most of the time, like you're saying, the reason why they low crime rate, like undocumented immigrants are usually not the ones that keep committing the least amount of crime because they don't want to get deported or they don't want to get caught or seen, right? Like they
Right.
just and like they're just trying to find like asylum in a way, in a sense, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the nature of it, right? Most
they
people,
wouldn't put themselves at risk.
no, you don't mostly, right? And so, and also, especially people who are undocumented, if you're going to take that level of risk, first off, it's going to cost you some money, man. So unless you're rich and you overstay your visa, and then you're just doing whatever you're doing, but you got money and you didn't, leverage your home or property or anything like that back home, then whatever, you do your thing. But if you're not rich, that means you took risks to get wherever you're going. And man, you're going to watch every moment. You're going to be really careful, right? Okay,
Right,
so we
right.
have high profile. The undocumented guy that just murdered. He murdered that young woman that was out. She was a student a couple years ago, and he just got life in prison or the death penalty. I don't know what he got, but he was illegal, right? Okay, but you got 11 million people illegal right here, and like that, it's just what happens is the human mind, we don't have the capacity, it's very difficult to hold the capacity to not make individual cases the norm for entire groups. It's very
Oh,
difficult.
right. Instead, we want to associate one individual case with the whole group rather than being able to
Yeah.
separate it as one case study. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. And it's hard to do. So that's like me. Here I am walking in Bogota, and I'll take my phone out. I'll walk through the park and show you.
Nice. Cool.
But um, I look at the numbers. I'm like, okay, hang on. In this sector where I am, right? So it's a kind of a large area. I mean, uh, what is what here, I'll show you. Actually, it'll be easier if I show you this map that I have.
Nice.
Hopefully, I remain connected. Okay. So here's the map of Bogota.
Wow, you have a map everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. I dig map. So here's my. Hang on, I'm gonna find this. This is
That's
my
where you
area
are?
park. Right. This is a whole city, man, and I'm in this one little park right there,
Wow.
right
Uh-huh.
in this sector. So when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about this whole sector right here, which is big.
Is
Right?
orange? That's the whole orange area?
Yeah, yeah, it's not so orange. It's all kind of orange and pink. But anyway,
Mm,
so what I did was, I'm like, okay, well, what's the average amount of crime that exists in this sector? Like on a daily basis, like, and then what's the crime? What's happening?
mhm.
How much of it is violent crime, and how much of the violent crime is committed against random people, right? That this is the key,
Right,
right? Because the young man, guys who fight against each other, there's not big issues with gangs here and stuff, right?
right.
And so, and I said, wow, it's actually, once I look at those numbers and break it down, it's pretty rare. So, all
Hmm.
right, so I can walk home from this restaurant I was at last night at 10:30 at night. And tonight I'll do the same thing. I'll walk home from a friend's house. And you got to, in my mind, well, I'm walking along and I know to be careful, like be a little bit careful, like kind of watch
Right.
for people, you're walking along the sidewalk and I got to watch and make sure that um,
Yeah.
it to be, yeah. Hey, by the way, Richard, it's not 20 million. There are not 20 million undocumented people here, man. There's not. And it's the people who are studying this are saying that the numbers went up a little bit, but um, yeah, it's not that. It's basically not much different than it has been. So 20 million undocumented people would be so many people. It would be so many. And if we had gone from uh, we added an additional 10 million undocumented people in the past 10 years or so, or 15 years, that would just be unbelievable.
That's like a pretty
Um,
crazy influx, you're saying?
oh, yeah, we would know it. You'd have people everywhere. You have people, and we don't know it, and we mostly don't see it. And sometimes you see certain things, but um,
Right.
you know, and I'm not,
But like,
I'm not. And this, and again, I'm just the only way we can, work out some of these issues is really to understand what is truly happening, and that's why it's so important for us, for people to really find the numbers and stick by the numbers and hold those numbers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm walking home, and
And
I'm still careful. I'm still I notice a car is coming up behind me. So what'll happen is a common thing, not common, but one way people will do is like car pull up, someone get out of the car and just grab your phone, and be like, maybe they have a knife in their hand, or there aren't many guns here, but maybe they'll have a knife and
there's not many
uh,
guns?
no, no, no. And so
Huh.
and they're just going to take my phone, all right, and then they're going to drive off in the car. So I'm aware of these kinds of things, but nonetheless,
Right.
I have numbers in my mind, and the numbers are telling me, dude, dude, meaning me,
Yeah.
Sam, highly unlikely that you're going to be a victim of crime here. So just walk home and enjoy this beautiful city, man. I mean,
Yeah.
beautiful. Not like it's a little. There are many parts that are on the struggle bus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. What is it like? It just makes me like, what does it take? Or man, like, what's your understanding? Because it's hard for people to rationalize,
It's hard.
like that, right? Like, even like
Hard.
I think it's totally awesome to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm proud of myself when I've had experiences like the one I just told you where I was able to
Yeah.
break down that narrative. But it's like, man, like it seems like so reinforced for people to like like the fear, like the reinforcement of fear
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like not be able to stop, to not be able to like dismantle like the loop of fear, to not experience new things,
Yeah.
or to take a risk, take a calculated risk. Like you're taking a
Yeah.
calculated, maybe you might not even call it a risk, I don't know if you would, but like it's at least calculated, like you're calculating while you're walking, and
Yeah.
to like let yourself understand like the reality, like the true reality, and not the inflated, you know.
Listen, you have to do it constantly. Like you
Yeah.
have to do it. Has to be nonstop, and you have to know the data. You have to really be willing to engage with the data, and
Right.
you just gotta run by numbers. It's a numbers
Mhm.
game. So
Right.
you have to do that. And 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 it's so easy to just fall off the wagon, so to speak, right? But you gotta know your numbers, and you gotta trust your numbers. And once
Right.
then you know what your risk is, and your risk, and for most things, is gonna be pretty low.
And
And
nobody's looking at the date, like not nobody, but for the most part, people are just listening to the narrative and not really the
yeah,
data.
like the headline, yeah, like the headlines, right?
Right.
You got that, and then you got like here I am. I'm in Colombia, right? I was just at this little shop. I bought we bought a painting a few years ago that you saw, the one in our living room, that really beautiful. Dude, is that not the cool? I saw that. I was walking with Julie and her husband. We were going to lunch 3 years ago
Uh-huh.
here in Bogotá, and I saw that in the window it was like a furniture store, but they sell commissioned paintings and stuff. And I was like, I just went right in, man. I just walked right through the door. Didn't even slow down. Like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Wow. You didn't
So
have
anyway,
even a chance to window shop. It was just like
dude,
boom
I
in.
went. I didn't know if I would have to barter for it if there was a fixed price. So at first I had to be like kind of coy, like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Meanwhile, I'm buying that painting no matter what price it is, no matter whatever. Like, I want to get that painting.
That's
So anyway,
cool.
back there today. So it's about an hour
Th-
ride. There are bike paths all over the city and stuff. And
Uh-huh.
I'm talking to these women there, like looking at different paintings and talking to them, and just having conversations about life, and like, hey, how you doing? What's up? I was here a few years ago. I showed them the painting that I got, and we were yucking it up. And like Then we went next door to another store's house, just different things, right? And like the
Oh
point
wow.
being,
Okay.
I'm just engaging with these human beings who are living their lives here in Bogota, and they
Yeah.
work in cool little boutique furniture place and like home decor place and so in my mind, when you start to meet people where they're at in their daily lives, it just changes they are Colombia, right? They're Colombia. So when I
Right.
some immigrant from Colombia who commits some crime or does something in the United States, I'm like, well, yeah, but I've met hundreds and thousands of Colombians who would never do that. Just like I've met hundreds and thousands of students who would never, steal my exam and run out the back of the room, which happened one time when we used to have paper exams. This guy he sent his friend in to grab the exam and he ran out the door. We had to
Did
chase
you
him.
chase him?
Yeah, I didn't chase him, but my DA did. Yeah. And like, but that's like, I can't look at every student who's going to do that. Like, it's not that. Like, I know it's like,
Yeah.
okay. But,
And this is
so
another example. Go ahead.
go ahead, no, go ahead,
No,
Mike.
yeah, it's another example of like the lack of it, like the exposure, and exposing it, like that's cool. That's Colombia. I love like you saying
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah,
these people are Colombia, not the fear-mongering narratives,
yeah, yeah.
that you're listening to or hear, and that create
Well,
restrictions and limitations in your mind, you know?
totally. Colombia was recognized as one of the five most violent nations in the world, like going back, 15 years ago to like whatever. Well, but
Yeah.
all the violence was happening in two provinces far away from Bogota. Like that's where that's where the coca trade was going, and the narco traffickers were all fighting it out there, right? That's the
Wow.
violence. Right. So not that innocent people got caught up in it as well, right? But the point being, Colombia ranked the most violent nation in the world, right? Like you see, that's the headline in the New York Times. So it's like, well, fuck, I'm not going to Colombia.
Right.
Like not ranked
Don't go
any.
off the resort. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Don't go off the resort, man. Yeah,
stay.
yeah. We were.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So if you don't have those experiences, yeah, you miss out, man. But this is
Yeah.
like,
What do you
uh,
Mhm.
uh, I was having a conversation earlier when I was in the car driving here with Jenny Lee, and Jenny Lee lives on a kibbutz up in northern Israel, and
Mhm.
I think she was in the chat. I'm assuming she's still here, but near the Lebanese border. I mean, just like, well, I've been there, right? Like she and I were talking about just daily life, like daily life. Like, whoa, the bombs get the point at which the bombs are coming over from Lebanon, and it's like, and people are like, oh my God, like, but this is her life, and it's like it's okay, it's day to day. It's incredibly, it's just a completely different story. And since
Right.
I've been there, not in her kibbutz, but up near there, and I've been in the rural area, like I just have a real sense of it. I'm like, okay, I know what this means, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you don't do that if you'd have to go and you'd have to go visit her, and you'd have to like, yeah, I see that she's still here. Yeah, so it's like you'd have to go visit her, and you'd have to go and spend a couple weeks and go down to the pub and wherever you go to have a beer. I don't know, you know what I mean, and some
Mhm.
food. People just engage. It's just different, right? And then there are
Yep.
times when things just blow up, like what's happening in Gaza, or and things are
Mhm.
blowing up in certain parts of the West Bank, and in Sudan, and I mean there are all sorts of places where it's happening, but it mostly blows up, and then that Sudan's a massive country. So we're like, whoa, there are these areas of deep, intense violence in Sudan, but it's not in Sudan. Sudan's a massive country, man. It's in
Hmm.
certain areas. And
What
so,
is it for, this is just popping up as a question because it's been brought up recently, I think with you and like Jeff and other, I think Laurie mentioned it. But like how would you um relate this, what we're talking about, to like Haiti and like
well,
the fear within about like going to Haiti and like all of that?
well, Haiti right now is just a different.
Is
I
it like
went
a
to Haiti.
different beast? Is it a different
Yeah, yeah,
beast
no,
or
different, because once the government fell and the gangs really took over, and there was a power vacuum in Haiti, and the politicians were not able to agree to really do the things they needed to do to get back in control. And um, so now it's just lawlessness, man. The gangs have taken over basically all of Port-au-Prince,
Yeah, it's
right?
another
And
world
so
right now.
yeah, yeah, it's and they
wow.
can't. All we can do is, we're sending some mercenaries down there. It's like, wait, to do what? To fight the gangs? So, I was talking to Ernsto the other day, and Ernsto was saying we just need to talk to the gangs. You talk to them, and they're young men who they they'll have a conversation. Okay, it's not that easy. It's not like, dude. First off, I'm not going to Haiti. Okay, I've been to Haiti. I've been to many parts of Haiti that blondes, like people who look like me, would never go to. I've driven in Haiti by myself, Ernsto's car, and I look around. I'm driving down the road in his pickup truck, and I see nobody, not a single human being in the entire trip who looks like me, let alone
Wow.
driving a car, even in a car. You know what I mean? And so, but I'm like,
Yeah,
I've driven down this road 100 times. It's like, it's okay. I know it. I got it. It's like, this is Haiti.
yeah, yeah.
And so you just live that, right? And so once you
So
do it, you have a sense. But right now, I wouldn't go to Haiti because there's too much lawlessness, man. There's just
Earlier,
no way.
earlier in chat, Green Eyed Lady mentioned that she had heard in Central and South America there are places where there might be armed security outside, and I was like, that's how it is in some places in Haiti. Like when I was there, you go to like the really fancy grocery store in downtown Port-au-Prince, and there were security guards outside for sure. But then you go to other grocery stores that were like closer to where Ernso was like living in, and those places didn't, because it wasn't like that scary or dangerous. Like I went by myself, got on the back of a motorcycle with a Haitian dude. I barely speak any Creole. He doesn't speak any English. We went to the grocery store, came back, everything was fine. Like that's how it was. But again, like Sam said, that's not how the world is today in Haiti. Like it's going to take quite a bit for us
wow.
to be safe there again. Like Ernso said, they have
Yeah.
to figure out something with the gangs.
Wow.
It's
You
a
Does
know,
class.
does, does grouping together like and I'm not saying that people are grouping together, but does having these like falsified data or like these narratives that maybe not falsified data, but like
Also, like,
misinterpreted data undermine okay, falsified data. Is it about like these different countries and cities within countries undermine and affect or create an impact on countries that actually are experiencing like that fear that you're afraid of, maybe in like
yeah,
Bogota, or
yeah.
does that undermine like the what's you know like happening in Haiti, where there's actually like fear, where it's like, okay, Sam's not gonna go
Yeah.
there, like
So, so
just
here's the here's the thought. For sure, now I wouldn't don't yeah. It's not falsified data. It's just data that are difficult to
misinterpreted.
too easy to misinterpret if you don't really study data. So,
Right.
and I misinterpret data all the time as well. But the point being, like, my life is about data, so I'm always um, I live my life within the context of of a matrix of information. So I'm always kind of making different decisions along this line. But yeah,
Right.
when we make everything so extreme, then when we have situations like Haiti, it's like, no, dude, listen, world, with Donald Trump, U.S. politicians, the UN, Organization of American States, whatever it is. Look, Haiti has been a country that has hobbled along for many, many, many years. And right now, Haiti just got itself in this situation that it just completely fell apart, right? It imploded. Okay. Well, you can't just see Haiti. Well, Haiti's always been like that. No, Haiti's been quite stable actually. And Haiti's a really cool place with really cool people and really loving people and really giving people. Like, man, dude, the shit, the stories I could tell you about people giving to me, the outsider,
Mhm.
like, the food that they, they don't know where their next meal is
Right.
coming from. They're going to give because I'm the guest, it's
Right.
like, so, so it's like people like we could step in and we could truly bring some order here. But when we just write it off and say like, well, it's always been like that and it's just violent. It's always been violent. It's like, no, it hasn't always been violent. And what's going on right
Right.
now is not what was going on 5 or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So step in and
Right.
fix it. Bring it back to where it was
Right.
5 or 10 minutes ago.
S- s- So by
Something
making
like
everything by labeling everything extreme when not everything is as extreme as other places, and with that then writing off other places, would that like mislead like what
yeah.
like new
It-
solutions could be, or like to
yeah.
discover new solutions, or
Yep. Yep.
um or
Yep.
blanketing solutions for everything, like for, let's say, I don't know, like the US government going into Colombia and the US government going into Haiti,
Yeah.
does because they're equating them as, I don't
That's
know if that's
the same. No. We put them on the same plane. Yeah.
and then does that blind us to like newer solutions, or
I
different
think so.
plans of action
Dude,
to solve things?
that's a really, really cool question. Yeah, I haven't thought about that ever, but I think it does.
Thanks.
No, I think it really does. I think it gets it 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 keeps blinders on. And then we don't see the commonality that we have. We're all brothers and sisters in this world, right? Anybody who believes in a creator has to also believe that we're all brothers and sisters here. And so,
Right.
and you could say, well, yeah, but those people, they worship a different God. And I say, listen, man, if you, but for the grace of God, you were born in a family with your religion and not in a family with another religion. And so you can't turn around and say they're special. I mean, come on, man. We're all
Yeah.
brothers here. So like these two women who I was engaging with a couple hours ago at this little home decor place, they're my sisters. And, we're just talking. It's just them, these two Colombian women. Now we're talking in Spanish, right? But we're talking. And, and, y- yeah, it's just what it is, man. It's just
Yeah.
how it works out.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you do you have well, that's just really, it's just also just so cool to be like a part of that humanity. Like you feel like you're a part of the community. Like,
Yeah.
and so often, like that's such a thing that people, unfortunately, a lot of people don't do. Like won't
Well, we don't get a
like
chance to do it, right? You don't get a
a
chance
chance.
because look, like here, hang on. I'm going to go back here. I have to put my shoes on. I'm going to take a walk into the
Nice.
park. So, once again,
Nice.
here's a cool painting, man. Look at that.
Oh, it's
Cool.
gorgeous, yo. What's the, oh yeah, I wanted to ask you proper um residential label for that picture that's in the living room. Like residential,
Uh,
like that was a residence, but isn't it like the
oh,
in
the one
Brazil?
with me.
What's up?
The one with me.
I think your audio, since you're far from the,
Right here.
is it the,
There we go.
because in Brazil it's called like the, right? Like that's the picture you're talking about, right? Where
Uh,
like, because when I was talking to Laurie, I called it the, because that's what it looked like to me, like in Rio, kind of how it's all of the houses close together.
oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
that.
That's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the other one on the wall with the woman with the parrot.
Oh, I need to look at because the one that caught my eye was that one living room. The with all the houses stacked. I thought that was just amazing. Like I loved that picture.
Yeah. Find it.
And it's very similar in color and contrast, color and contrast to the one that you have in this apartment here. It's like very bright red and yellow and dark black outlinings and like very similar.
This is the painting that I'm talking about.
Oh, wait, that's in the living room?
Yeah, it's in our living room.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
see that one, but that one is so cool.
Big.
It's
This one's
yeah.
like 2 meters by 1.5 meters.
Wow,
Yeah.
that one looks even more organic. Like it just looks like beautifully hand drawn. Like you know, like the strokes in that you can like. Is what I'm getting. That's cool.
All right,
But
so
the
listen,
one in the above the couch is so cool.
I'm gonna hop into Discord from my phone. Okay.
Bet.
Listen, I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna hop back in. All right.
Okay.
So you got it?
Yeah, it'll just
We'll have
everything's gonna shift, but it'll be okay.
We'll have a little
Hang on.
intermission. So can we play a
Hang
little
on,
music while we're doing that?
You can sing for
Can
us.
we do like some elevator?
Human
We need
music.
some elevator music. Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Like, so here I see where we are, but I'm not able to get in the channel.
It doesn't. You can't join voice channel.
No, I see you guys. I see us all in there. Yeah.
Is it because you're already on?
You should have an,
For example.
well, let me go on my phone.
ahead.
Discord.
I wonder if it's because you're already in it. Like the
Office hours call in VC. Yeah, probably so. All right, man. I'll get off here. I'll be right back.
You can hit the channel and then just say join voice. It should pop up with an option for you. Hey, there's my picture.
Okay, there I am.
What did you say?
My picture popped up on the stream, or my profile picture. That's not me.
Okay. All right, you can hear
Yeah,
me.
no, that's not you. What's up? We can hear you.
Okay, there we go, right?
Nice. Yep.
All right, hang on. Give me a second. I gotta get my. Wait, can you guys just talk for a second while I? I'll just give me a second, all right? I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
you got it.
And then we're gonna take a walk. We're gonna take a walk through the Elvire Park in Bogotá.
Nice. Elvire Park. Elvire Park. Wait, so Jeff, when did you go to Haiti?
The first time I went was in 2013, and then I went again in 2014 for the entire summer.
Really? It's so cool. Wait, what inspired the going there?
It was with a church group, so I went as a senior in high school. It was my last youth group trip, and so I went down and had a really good time. And then the requirements for an intern to go down was that you had to be at least 1 year into college. So I went through my freshman year and then applied for the position. And I only actually applied because a buddy of mine was applying, and he was like, they're asking for a lot more guys to go down. And I was like, all right, I'll just throw my hat in the ring, and got accepted. And then me and him went down together and spent about just over 3 months. It's a little place about an hour and a half outside of Port-au-Prince.
Okay.
It was actually like a crazy place after the earthquake. The town got a nickname that was pretty much like, if you tell somebody that you're going to take them to this town, it means you're going to kill them. and it was like a thing that happened because of the earthquake and the way that aid was given out, and that was a place where a lot of violence spurred up. And it was partly because of the community that I worked with that they were able to overcome that violence.
And that was the name. That's the name of the town. The name of the
town is now a thing that you say when you want to be like, I want to fight, essentially. Like, I'm going to take you to this place. And then that means that, yeah, you want to fight them or hurt them.
So if someone doesn't know what that town is, they'd be like, but they spoke the language, they'd be like, what?
Yeah, it just became like it might just have been in that area. I'm not sure how wide known it was, but.
Yeah, gracias.
But the
Hey,
when
Sam,
did you go with Sam?
Can you mute yourself for a little bit? Just while you're walking. Sam and I went with a bunch of students. I think it was 2018 or 2019. One of those summers. We went to Ernsto's place.
3 times.
I've been a bunch. I've been like 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever expect that Haiti would be the place?
No, but it made me feel like Social 19 and World in Conversation was the right place because they were also connected. So I was like I never felt like I would get connected to Haiti, and then I did, and then that's what one of the first things I saw at Wink. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys have a thing connected to Haiti, and then we went.
So that just grew your attachment, for Wink through that.
All right, so listen. Wait,
That's
can
cool.
you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you and see you just fine.
Yeah, but and the question is, I don't know if which microphone I'm using.
It sounds good.
It's very clear.
Yeah.
All right, okay, so it must be my phone. All right, so listen, this is the street that I live on. All right, that's my apartment building right there.
Really nice spot.
Yeah, it's nice. Beautiful sunny day. And yes.
What kind of flowers we got?
And all these places, every one of these places has a security guard, right? So you can't get in the building or out of the building without the person opening the door for you. Okay. But again, okay, so let me know if you can't hear me at some point.
Yeah, and the security guard is because that's a standard
because
in this area?
security. Yeah, because everybody wants security. Yeah. And so, you're just going to have it.
Right. Wow.
So the thing is, yeah. So here, this is this really sweet park. This is a park that sold us on this place. And bike paths, bikes, and dogs, man. And right now there aren't a lot of people because it's still early here. It's 3:00, but in about 1 hour, this place starts to get packed with people with their kids and their dogs. And so this is the low. Right now is the low time, and and it's people just hanging out. People will be here all night.
People what are they doing
day.
usually? Playing soccer, just
playing soccer, chilling out, scrolling on their phones. We'll go up here to the playground where the kids will be out here at 10:00 at night. People will be out here with their children playing in the playgrounds.
When Julie,
it's not like it.
When Julie lived
it's not like.
I was just gonna ask, when Julie lived in Colombia, or in Bogotá, I mean, do you know, was she close to this area? Was she kind of far away?
No. In fact, where I drove my bike today was very near her house. She's about an hour away on a bike. Yeah. And I got there almost the entire way on bike paths. So this is a big biking city. Once every Sunday for 6 hours, they close down about 170 or 180 kilometers of streets. And then people bike. And everybody's just packed with people biking, man. It's just the nature of it.
How far away are you from center city from here?
About an hour on my bike. So maybe about 7 kilometers.
So you're further than I thought you were.
Yeah, from the center. That's the old city. Yeah. So here's like, people, kids playing,
What's that over there? Is it handballs?
this thing here is this little it's this little swing. It's pretty cool,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
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 This is
This is
sweet.
it's just sweet, right? So like you think
Yeah.
about this is Colombia, man. This is it right
And so,
here. All these people with their kids and like
yeah, so
playing.
this area, what's like the median income around this area? Like what's
Well,
the SES?
this is a nicer area by Colombia by US by I don't know, US standards. Probably people who are make on average to afford to live in this place depends on the
Yep.
size of your apartment, but you're going to need to make 40,000 household income a year.
Okay.
But
That's
the dollar is strong here. I mean, that's like the cost of living is very different here than
right. So is
you're going to need
40K a
to make
year
that.
here? Is 40K a year here like is that middle class? Is that like lower middle,
Yeah,
upper
yeah, that's
lower
middle
middle,
class. Yeah,
middle
it's
class?
middle. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah, yeah. And so the point being, right? Like you've got this is also Colombia, man. Like
Yeah.
this is it. And
It's
so
so
it's like, you gotta like when you think about uh like traveling, you think about going places, you think about you hear about something happening in Colombia, right? Like this politician just got assassinated about a month ago. Crazy
wow.
story, you know. They're like, oh my god, assassination, but that hasn't happened in 10 years. And it was a really random thing that
And
took
people
place,
yeah,
right?
done with it.
Yeah. So but for me, I know that and I'm aware of it. But, for someone else, maybe who's never been here, like it's not. And so here's this little flower area. So all these flower shop owners selling flowers.
I was
It's
gonna
like a
ask you, is
thing
there any
here.
food around?
What's that?
Yeah. Damn. Wait,
The
what time?
first thing when we get here to Colombia, the first thing we do is we go buy cream and milk for our coffees. And
Heck yeah.
and then we come here and buy flowers
Probably 20 minutes.
from one of those flower stores.
Well, not all of it, but this one is this. Sorry, Joy's in. She's wondering if this whole stream was a tour of Bogota, and
And then no, just the past 10 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah. But again, this is like really low. There's not much happening here because people are just going to start to get off work and they're going to be piling out of here with their dogs, man. There will be probably here, hang on. In this park here, right?
Mhm.
There will probably be uh 200
Oh,
dogs playing behind me. 200 dogs. Yeah.
that's
And then it is
crazy. That's
so many dogs, man. People love their dogs and they're playing them. And like here, watch it. Hang on, look at this right here. Yeah.
dogs
Yeah.
every. Is there specific
Everywhere.
breeds? Do you notice any specific breeds that are there? Or are they just all kinds of dogs?
All kinds of dogs. But one of the breeds is getting more popular here, I'm noticing. Are these golden doodles and labradoodles. The doodles. Yeah, the doodle dogs. Yeah, variations of poodles. But it's like crazy.
Wow. And
So
so, wait,
interesting.
if there's all those people, where are the food spots? I would assume, because you said flower
Uh,
shops, but I would assume there's food nearby.
everywhere. Dude, it's everywhere. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
okay, what's the classic food truck over there? Like what's the usual cuisine that's just like on a food truck over here in Colombia?
Well, you don't see food trucks here. You don't see very many. But
Ah,
like, I went down the street here. Hang on. Uh, and got some down here and got some empanadas. This, by the way, this right here, across from us, was a 2 city blocks of stores and buildings. They just tore it all down. They're gonna completely start from scratch with
wow, and
stores
just
and
do
things.
something
Yeah,
different.
it's really crazy.
Are those the
Yeah.
buses that they have? Those are the buses? Okay.
Yeah, buses. Yeah. It's
Is there any
wild, isn't it?
different? Yeah, it's so cool. It's a really beautiful area. It's just like
Yeah,
reminds
it's a
me
really
of,
nice area. Yeah.
yeah, reminds me of a lot of spots here in the US.
So
Of
this
like,
is but there are lots of places in the city like this. I mean, it's not the only one. But this
yeah.
park here, Parque El Virrey, this is what we walked up and down. We were staying in that hotel right there. And
Hmm.
we Cite Hotel, and we walked back and forth in this park. And then including late at night, like at 1 in the morning kind of thing, And we were like, "Oh man, this is such a cool spot." And that's how
Oh,
we
you
ended
were
up
right
here.
there at 1 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, like I could stream at 1 a.m. and it's like you have a similar kind of thing, you know?
Is it okay? And is it like very bright, like lights are lit so people can
No,
be
not
out all night?
I mean you have these street lights here. See them right here?
Uh,
But that one doesn't have a bulb in it. So that one's not going to be lit. This
They need
one
to fix
coming up
that.
doesn't have a bulb in it either, so it's not gonna be. But this one's fine. This one has a bulb, but like no, it's lit up. And this right there, that building right here. Let me see if I can point it right there. That's the police
Mhm.
station. So there are police in there,
Oh,
and about once an hour they'll like take a walk around the park here. But
I was gonna
it's
ask.
a but it's a huge park, man. Like if someone's gonna mug me, like once an hour is not gonna stop people from mugging me. You
Right.
know?
I was gonna like does the vibe, does it change a little bit once it gets dark? Like do the um
Yeah, more people, man. Crazy. Nah, I wouldn't say more people, but it does. People
do the
really
type
enjoy the park at night.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
really enjoy it. So that's the thing. This is what I'm always saying. Like when you travel, I'm always trying to encourage people if they travel, just go somewhere like Bogota, stay in that hotel back there, right? El Cite Hotel, and then just walk around. Just walk
Yeah.
around. You don't have to go to a resort. It's like, there's so much, so many opportunities,
Yeah,
right?
and then
There's
like
lots of lovers in the park, you know.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, very romantic. Like this is I mean very romantic.
Dude.
I mean this could be just look at it. It's
Yeah.
just screaming
Yeah.
proposal to me,
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah.
you know?
Here's a couple got their little dog here.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Have you and
Yeah, it's
Laurie ever had like a
crazy.
picnic out there?
What's that?
You and Laurie ever had like a picnic out there?
Yeah, we'll have a picnic. Well, Laurie, if Laurie was here, yeah, picnic, play with the dogs. Sometimes we come out and just watch the dogs because there'll be just packs of like 40 dogs that are just playing with each other right here.
Oh my gosh.
This area is one of the play areas.
Wow, so all
Yeah.
unleashed. Like they just take the leashes off and they go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
and
the
it's not even
dogs know.
considered
Yeah, I never seen a dog run away ever.
wow. And
Yeah.
that's the difference because usually there's like designated dog parks for that. But what's that? What are they selling
Yeah.
there?
Dude, he's selling stuff for dogs, man. It's all play
No.
toys and leashes and all sorts of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, and the dog's over
this
here.
oh, this is a legit like human dog park. 'Cause they're selling dogs.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
a
seen that
human
actually
dog.
in America.
Yeah.
I've never seen that in
And here
America,
are
like
the guys.
dog toys near
These are these are the hardcore workout guys, man. They're always here working out.
they
Man,
have
the
an
muscle
outside gym.
guys and women, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
You got to get in there with them.
Dude, I
Gotta
know, man. I missed my opportunity by about 15 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
I
it's
love those
crazy.
outside gyms. Those are so cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
there used to
yeah,
be one in Manchester, New Hampshire that it's cool. Wow.
yeah. Anyway, that's it, man. This is the thing. This is like if I could take everybody, every student I ever have, if I could just take them on a trip with me, and just spend a day with them and just show them the world, some part of the world that's like a
Hey,
cool part of the world, you know, and they wouldn't think is cool, but it is cool. And you just watch all these people here. And again, like maybe I'll just in an hour, I'll just pop the stream back on for a second when things are really
popping
popping
off.
here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you
Uh-huh.
just see it. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
here
you
comes
you
dogs.
gotta you gotta maybe because 700 students is a lot of staff.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd
You know,
be
you
a
can
lot
take
to take on a trip, but you know.
I know. Just you can take us. You know, we
Yeah.
won't say no.
I think you guys. All right.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
awesome. And you're what? You're still like a 10-minute walk from your apartment.
No, my
What's that
apartment's
say?
right over there across the way.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So this is, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
you clean up the space that your dog uses. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. These dogs.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ah, that's it. It's cool too, like seeing all
Yeah.
the community support like infrastructure, like the signs,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Do you walk this
Yeah.
park a lot? Like, do you always find yourself
Yeah.
um
Every day. Every day
nice?
I'm in the park. Come
Oh
down and
wow.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And then do you also go other like and then you'll also walk other places like closer like within the city.
Yeah.
You'll just like walk city blocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How often do you see
Yeah.
homeless here in these parks?
Uh, not very often. There aren't a lot of homeless here. Lots of people from Venezuela. Here's some guys from probably Venezuelans who are digging through the trash and
Right now?
you know, looking for yeah, looking for clothes, looking for whatever. Hey, maybe someone on the
Wow.
stream wants to Venmo me some money and I'll give it to them. I have some cash on me. I have like,
Yo, facts. Someone Venmo. I'll
yeah.
Venmo you
No, they
five
could just
dollars.
Venmo it. Yeah.
I'll Venmo $5
I
right
could
now.
give them like, dude, if I gave them like $50, that'd be like killers. Yeah.
I don't know.
Hang on, let me see
I can
let me see how
how
much
much
I
it
have
is
actually.
how's five? Is that bad? Is that like disrespectful?
Well, I wouldn't give them just 5, but
Okay, yeah. I don't have a big
hang
budget
on.
for 50.
Hang on, I got like okay, I got like $25 here. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
how do you know
You got
Venezuelan?
$25?
Do
They
I?
just probably are. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, do I have $25? What,
Okay, you got
match you?
25 bucks?
I'll send you 25.
All right, okay. All right, I'll give it to him. I'm not
What's
going to put him on the camera though.
what's your Venmo?
I unlearn. Wait, un momento.
Got you.
Hola, hombre, ¿qué tal? Buenos. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Es tu hijo? Sí. Ah, sí, ¿cómo se llama? Ese es mi hija. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Vos? ¿Cómo te llamas? Ah, mucho gusto, soy Samuel. ¿Ustedes son de acá o de Venezuela?
No, Venezuela.
Ah, Venezuela. Ah, ya, ok. Mira, aquí es dinero para usted, ¿ya? ¿Está bien?
Que Dios lo bendiga.
Ya, ok.
Que Dios lo bendiga.
Ya, para él. Ok.
Gracias.
Ya, gracias.
That's dope.
Yeah, they're from Venezuela.
Wow.
So what you get
Wow.
so many Venezuelans here who are just trying to get by, man. And like, you know, here's this guy, he's just gonna go through the trash and recycle. And dude, I just gave him $25. He'll be lucky to make $25 in a week, man. I mean, he has to work so hard to make $25, man. I'd
Wow.
probably give him
Really?
more if I had it, but I don't have any money on me.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that's
I
the
just
shit.
sent you
That's
I
the
just
stuff,
Venmoed
man.
you the yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Wow,
I saw it. Thanks, man.
yeah.
No, it's
That's
crazy
cool.
because, you remember last year that the couple that we met, the guy we met, and we completely, the live stream, Eric Sell, different people contributed on the stream, but Eric really jumped in. And we changed their lives, man. They were able to buy their documentation, get their passports here from Venezuela, documentations here. And
Wow.
yeah,
This is different than
crazy, man.
this is different than the baby food story, right? Or is this the same
Yeah,
one?
that's the baby food story. Yeah, no, that's the story. And like
That
we
one
just
is, yeah,
completely transformed their lives. And like this
amazing.
guy, 100, okay, 100, it's uh 100,000 pesos. So that's like $25, right? That's not going to
Right.
change his life. I'd have to give him like $500 to really have a serious impact. But
Right.
when
Right.
his
But
bike
this will
breaks
get
down
him,
and he's got the chain, yeah. No,
but
and like the bike breaks down and that he relies on and his chain breaks and he's got to get it fixed. And like, man, he's got to work for 3 days here,
make $25.
recycling things, collecting recyclables just to pay for that chain, man. It's just stuff like that that just really
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And you
And
see
like,
how hard people work. And his son's here working with him, man. His son's probably may or may not be in school, right? Because in order to be in school, you got to have a certain amount of money. And you got to
wow.
be able to register your child in school, and you probably got to buy uniforms and books and that kind of stuff. And like
Really?
that's going to cost money, man. So, but his son can come help him. But he wants his kid. He's going to want his kid in school. Everybody's going to want that. Like that's the nature of it.
Wow.
There's nobody who's thinking like, yeah, that's not important. My child being in school. Everybody
Wow.
does, all over the
That's,
world.
I didn't
Yeah,
expect it to be like
yeah,
expensive or some type of there was some type of expense
yeah,
to be
yeah.
in school in Colombia.
Yeah, it's not a
Even just
lot,
a
but
pub,
it's enough for you and I. It's nothing, man. It
right,
might be $25, but
right,
you have to do that. You have to take care of things.
right.
It's just, and people are coming. There's nothing in Colombia in Venezuela, man. That guy, unless he's really lucky in a certain strata, maybe he's making $50 a month, right? And he's somehow like taking care of the family on $50 a month. The economy
Yeah.
just imploded there. So people come here, right? And then they
And
survive.
wow,
And
so like most of like those that are
and
impoverished.
yeah, and here's the
Yeah,
thing. You can hear me really well, right? My audio is
yeah,
clear.
mhm,
Okay,
very
so here's
clear.
the thing. So you got all these Colombians. You got like 500,000 Colombians living in Bogotá. Okay, just
Mhm,
here, and not
right.
Colombians, Venezuelans. Okay, so that
500,000.
means they're in this underground economy, and they're just eking out a living, and they're everywhere. So like if I stay here long enough, I mean I'm going to encounter different people, right? But Colombia is not a rich country. I mean, Colombia is like, it's it's not a it's not a poor country, but it's not a wealthy country. And so people are also eking out a living here. And then suddenly you got a 500,000 Colombian or Venezuelans rolling in. And and
100,000?
it's like, yeah, yeah, it's like they're taking, but somehow Colombians, they're like, okay, they open their arms. It's like, listen, you guys, you're hungry, your economy collapsed, you're under sanctions, you're struggling, oh God, okay, come here. We'll do what we can to help you out. There's no protests against Venezuelans. There's no national protests. Colombians are saying like, listen, we got to help. These are our brothers and sisters on the other side of the border, and
Right,
we need to step up and
right.
help them. And so
And
like I think about the United States, they're
That's
stealing our jobs, right? Like, oh my God, these immigrants, they
right.
come here and they're stealing the jobs. Here are these immigrants stealing jobs from the poorest of Colombians, and the poorest of Colombians are still somehow going like, well, yeah, but we got to help people, man. Everybody I
Wow.
talk to, it's like, yeah, we got to help
Yeah,
them. And
that's
I don't
wow.
know,
And
it's not to say that, yeah, it's just something, man.
does it say
It's just
it says
something to
something?
think about.
Is it that say something about like the different interdependent and independent countries or interdependent versus like is
I
that the
think
core of
so.
it? Maybe the core of it is
I
yeah that that way of
interdependence.
living.
Yeah,
Right.
probably. It's part of it, but
Wow.
look, but we see why don't why is it so hard for some of us to see? We're not
Yeah.
we don't
And
I don't know why. I'm not saying that it's just that we're all brothers and sisters in this somehow, man.
right. I'm not
And
saying interdependence or independence, but I guess
yeah.
objectively trying to understand like like where's the
Well,
lack,
here's the
like how is that showing, what's the cause for it? Or
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, oh, is that
Well,
at the core of it? Not saying that that's a justification of it because
yeah.
it shouldn't be.
Yeah. No, it's just that look, first off, you can't just open borders and let people go wherever they want to go, right? So that I'm not making that argument. Uh,
Yeah,
but
right.
uh I'm not making that argument. But but I am saying that it it just
Mhm.
says something.
Yeah.
It's just worth stopping and thinking for a second. Like
But
human beings, man. Look, by the way, so this is a trash can. All right. Right. So, like, Colombia still is not a wealthy
wait,
country, man. This is a
that's
really
a
nice park in Bogota, and that the trash can got broken, and they didn't fix it. So it's
I'm
like,
like, where did
you know,
there's
yeah.
like a
This
little
is
bit of
like so.
trash
This is
like
a nice
sitting.
area. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
like some
No, the
trash
can
teetering on a
disappeared.
bar.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is, dude.
They're trying
Yeah,
to stack the
yeah,
trash up on that
yeah,
little.
yeah, yeah. That's the nature of it. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
this is life. So
Right.
it's
It,
cool.
but just observing or thinking about the fact these peoples are handling other peoples in this different way is just chew on.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, there are Colombians here who are against all the Venezuelans. There are. But the dominant sentiment is, hey, see here, this is what it's supposed to look like. Got it? With trash in it. All right. See? And
Somebody
there it
needed
is.
a
There's
trash
another
can.
broken one. Yeah.
There's one missing. Do you
Yeah.
think somebody would take it because they
Yeah.
need a trash can, maybe?
Maybe so. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But my point being that the only reason I'm showing you that is to say this is this is a really nice area of the city. Obviously, there are many nice areas of the city. This is one of them. I mean,
Right.
neighborhoods, a big, but it's also
It's
this is also poor, man.
yeah. Like
This is
it's not
not
the
a
wealthiest,
not
it's not
poor,
the
but
rich.
it's less developed. It's less
Right.
developed. Okay,
Right. Right.
so that's the nature of it. So
Wow.
you get so you're in the world. Yeah,
Yeah, this is so I
but
wish
it's
I could
cool.
just transport through
It's
the
like,
camera.
yeah, yeah, just seeing people, man. These are people living their lives and happily living their lives, and they're happy to be here. They don't want to be in the United States. They're not coming over. But sure, they'd like to come to visit Disneyland or something, but visit
Right.
Miami, but they're not. They're not coming there, man. They're living
Right.
their lives. Look at this couple over here. I don't know if you can see. Like, they're like, this is. Hang on. You
Kind
see?
of. Kind of. It's
Yeah.
kind of distant in the
I don't want
camera,
to
but
invade on people's.
right,
Yeah.
right, right. Hmm. We can kind of see
They're
them.
living their best life here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at these kids here.
What
This is it,
what's
man. They're
the
living their great life.
are there a lot of college graduates in this that have graduated from university in this
Yeah.
city?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not. Hang on. I don't. If I had to guess, I'd say it's about 15%, 20% maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
At least
Right.
there's a lot of with some college. So people go to trade schools and that kind of thing.
Oh, so
You know.
that's almost more popular trades.
Well, if you're poor, you can't afford college, man. Even though a
Yeah.
university here might cost $6,000 a year, you just can't
Wow.
afford that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Elijah,
Wow.
these guys here with the muscle guys, should I go ask them to perform a couple muscle tricks for us? Yeah.
Yeah, if they know what you mean by muscle.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I don't know. What do you do when you go work out
You could
like
be
that?
like, how many
Look
pull-ups
at,
can you do? You could be like, how many pull-ups?
yeah. Yeah,
Or you
we
could
could.
be like,
Oh, yeah, we could do a Venmo thing. But look, you understand. See all these people living. You see all these people going by, right?
mhm,
Then they don't. You know, a lot of Americans will have this idea that everybody wants to come here. You know, they want to go to the United States. They want to be in these people don't want to be in the United States, man.
right. Why would you
They're
want to leave?
dude. Why would
Right,
you
that's-
leave this park? Wait till it starts popping, man. You
yeah,
just
it's
don't.
beautiful.
It's yeah. So
And do
anyway,
you
this
notice
is the
any?
point, right? So
I was gonna ask you, do you notice any difference in interaction? Because you know how South American countries and the way that people interact with each other is like usually a difference in closeness. Like there's more things are
yeah,
more
yeah,
relational or more close. Like do you
yeah,
notice
yeah.
different like do you notice that difference from here to like a park in America?
Well, here's the thing. Bogota it's in the mountains and people here are a little bit more closed off than like say
Oh,
Cali, right? There are other cities where people are it's just a different vibe in the city.
uh,
So here it's going to
oh,
be a little bit more closed. People kind of being in their own space, you know, that kind of thing. So
okay.
So,
So
you
that
know,
closeness, that's
that's the nature. But nonetheless, people are very friendly once they start talking to them. A lot of times with a gringo like me, they don't know that I speak Spanish. And so people will be maybe a little reluctant, you
right.
know.
And then immediately you close
Again,
that gap once you start speaking
yeah, you
Spanish
close
with
it.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Which that's got to be an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a good, you know, it's good.
It's
You
nice.
see
Yeah.
these two dogs, man.
More dogs. Any of those
Those-
doodles? Wait, that looked like a
nah, those are little bulldogs, friend bulldogs. Yeah. Here's La Policia. Yeah.
Ah,
Right
okay.
there.
They get
Yeah.
bikes.
Yeah.
Fast, but those
So
crotch
this is it,
rockets, wow, those
man.
things are fast.
Yeah. This is the city. This is where we're at. People just
This
living life, man. Yeah, they're going through little flowers. Yeah.
this is where the park meets the city, right here.
This is the dog.
The end
This
of
is
the
the
park.
dog that's been adopted by the police here. This dog's been living here for a long time. And they
Oh,
have
really?
water and food.
Wait,
Yeah.
can we see that dog again?
This guy right there.
Oh, oh, he's cute. He's an old guy,
Yeah.
older guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that dog's cool looking.
Yeah.
This is off the leash, just chilling.
Yeah, dude, they learned quite well, man. He's gonna walk
Yeah,
across the street with this guy. Yeah, not every dog's off leash, obviously, but an
right.
extraordinary number are. And then you got these
Wow.
dog walkers here who they'll walk 10 and 15 dogs at a time. And I don't know
No,
how they do it, but the
me neither.
dogs, I don't
That
know, they've
sounds
got
like a little too much.
15 leashes. Yeah, it's crazy. But the dogs know, man. The dogs somehow know. I mean, I see that in New York also. I mean, I see it in cities in the U.S., but I
Right.
never know how they manage it. But
That's
anyway, that's
amazing.
us, man. This is us.
That was
It's
a
beautiful.
heck yeah. Heck yeah. Appreciate that tour.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
That's what I look. This is what I look like on my bike right here. That's what my bike looks like.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's different.
Only
It's
I
like a
don't have a
low
winter
rider.
jacket. That guy's got like a full puffy winter jacket, man. I'm like, dude, it's summer here. Like, oh my god.
The way they experience cold and heat, like this is cold for them, I guess,
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. At least for that
or
guy, it is.
something.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
Oh, this
yeah,
is awesome. You're on a
yeah,
nice little vacation right now.
yeah, yeah. A dog
Uh,
vacation. The dogs
y-
are starting to show up now. So, yeah,
everybody's getting off work, so it's 3 o'clock,
yeah,
so 3:30 right now.
yeah.
People
Starts to happen.
Is it nine to
Yeah, it's
five
cool.
idea? Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know. Somehow yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Sometimes people start actually pretty early. They can start at 8, go like 8 to 4. There's a
Okay.
lot of movement starting at 4 o'clock, man. It just really picks up. So,
Got it. Okay.
yeah.
Heck yeah,
Anyway,
Sam.
that's where we're at.
Oh yeah.
Any
What's your
questions? Any questions from the chat, Jeff, that I should respond to?
No questions, but RIP to one of the best judges in all of Providence, Rhode Island. Judge Caprio passed away at age 88 today. News just came in today.
Oh man.
And for those of you who don't know him, he's just look him up on YouTube. I think it's something in Providence.
Yeah.
And he was just
He was a really good guy.
yeah, he was a very empathetic
Yeah.
judge who worked a lot with like traffic court and such.
Wow. Oh man, that's awesome. Peace and love to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, that dude. I watched some of his clips. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. What's your next move?
My next move?
Yeah.
At least I'll just sit here and watch life go by. I might as well just keep streaming. Whatever. I think, look,
Yeah.
there's this thing called sondering. There's a term. It's called sonder, right?
Mhm.
And be good to. It's basically the idea that when wherever you are, that you're just a kind of a bit player in everybody else's lives, just like they are in your life, you are in their lives. So in a way, we're sondering here. I'm this guy sitting on this bench. Here's where I am, sitting right here with
Yeah.
this little stream behind me. If I
So
watch long
nice.
enough, I'll see some rats down there. And
Really?
yeah, it's a city, man. You gotta have rats. You can't be a
Yeah.
city if you don't have rats.
Right.
So
No, facts. Mhm.
and so I'm sondering, man. I'm just like a bit player. This dude sitting on a bench, just holding his phone up. And these are all actors like in my life, right? They're people that I'm part of their lives. They're part of my life. Now we're all part of each other's lives. And this is what I do when I travel a lot. I mean, I just go and I sit and or I do whatever I need to do to be part of a life. Here, see this guy
Yeah.
see the guy right here with his little pull cart?
Kind of. It's kind of.
He's called hang on, how about
Oh, I
that?
see it. I see it. Yeah, I see it. It's kind of hard to see, but
Okay.
I see it.
Okay. So he's part of a recyclable, the
What's
recyclers
that?
here. And so there are people who are they don't have a lot. The Venezuelan guy was doing that. He just doesn't have a cart like this. If he had a cart, he needs a cart with wheels on it. And they go around and they just pick up every little bit of whatever they can find that's recyclable. And so trash on the street, there's no major trash on the street. Anything that can be recyclable, even tiny pieces of plastic, whatever it is, tin cans, whatever, these guys go around, they pick it up, paper, cardboard, tiny pieces of paper, but especially big pieces of cardboard. And then they haul it out all the way to the recycling place, which is by the airport, which means that this guy here, he's going to haul that cart and he's going to fill it. So it's going to be like super filled. He's going to fill that thing to the top. It's going to weigh probably 200 pounds, and he's going to pull it, and he's going to pull it about 6 miles. 6
What?
miles, man. And he's going to unload it, and they're going to pay him for it, and it's going to be 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and then he's going to go home. And tomorrow he's going to start all over again. And those are called the
Wow.
racing plays.
What
Yeah.
a hustle. What
Yeah.
a hustle. And how much will he
Dude.
get paid, do you think?
Well, he'll make maybe $20, $25. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe if he had a good
Wow.
haul, right? And so, like,
Right.
this is it, man. This is living. This is what people are doing to get on in life. And
Yeah.
but you're gonna do it. You're gonna do whatever you need to do, including if you need to, leave your home and travel 1,500 miles to sneak into the United States or some other country because your family is hungry and they don't have any food and they can't eat. Then that's what you're gonna do.
Wow.
That's what you're gonna do, man. And that's what any of us would do. We'd do whatever it is. I'd be pulling a Rissy Cloudley cart around if I had to.
Yep. Yeah.
And, I was down here with some friends, Laurie and I, a few years ago, and bought tons of food and took it out to where they go to the airport, the street that they all go on to get to the airport. And then he just gave the food out to everybody. They pulled over and, and dude, these guys, man, they were hauling these massive, oh my God, I don't know how they could do it. And,
Just 200 pounds. Yeah, that's a lot.
dude, it's so much.
6 miles is,
Yeah.
and I can't even, how long, I wonder how long, that's like hours.
Dude, it just take hours, man. It just takes hours. You just can't.
Wow.
You just can't. But that's it, man. That's life. That's what you're gonna do that to get on. And
Right.
and the thing that Americans, one thing to think about is, most Colombians they'd rather do that and live here than to travel to the United States to try to live, because it's more secure. Like, where where you are, what's going on, and you're with your family, and most everybody has extended family. So, you may not.
And everybody's doing this to work together. Like, they're all
Everybody's working together, man.
doing their own part.
Yeah.
Doing
They're
their
all
part.
doing it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
And this is like humanizing.
It's so humanizing for me, right?
Yeah.
Like for me,
Right.
it matters, right? It's like what I
It's- I
really
think it's-
need to do.
I think it's almost time to end the stream. However, hello, Justina from Paris. Thank you so much for joining us. And Stephen from the UK had a question for Elijah. He asked, what's the most important thing that you've learned about people in your studies through World in Conversation?
Wow. I can't believe I have a question.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
That's a good question. man.
Because as you can see, I don't on the stream. Man. I think the most important thing that I've learned is the humanization of people. Like World in Conversation has been an outlet that I can immerse myself in to humanize the continuous humanization of people. I guess that's simply it. Like understanding culture, understanding people's sociological address, and the reason why they do things. And like this is another example, just like what Sam is, and the humanization, like taking down narratives of what people think that things are, and then actually seeing the lived experience. And at World in Conversation, I didn't see much, I heard a lot, and I got to see difference and normalize difference, humanize difference, and understanding demonization and othering individuals impact of, and I would say that's the biggest thing. And I've always been a people person, but that has expanded, my understanding as a person, and understanding the world, not being fearful of people or judging for certain, because World in Conversation teaches you to seek to understand rather than just have conclusions and judgments and stop there. Like, we don't stop there at World in Conversation. We go past that and try to see more. So I would say, I hope that answers your question, but that's, for me, something. And it helps me go out into the world and do, but
I like that answer, by the way. The humanization. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and I love that because I'm seeing it here too.
Yeah.
I get more of it through the podcast by listening, Sam,
Yeah.
and involving myself. So
Yeah. Look, like this guy right here, he's selling kitchen like spoons and wooden accoutrements, right? Spoons and forks and like all sorts of stuff, right? That you would use in your kitchen and different things. That's it, man. He just sets up shop there. He's just this young guy, right? And
it's so unique too.
and he's probably Venezuelan. And he probably went and he pulled the money together to buy all these things, and he just that's his thing, man. So,
what is that, like, what's the word, ingenuity or
ingenuity, yeah, industriousness. And you might
right,
think like, yeah, oh, it's not very industrious just to get like these things here, right? That are made of wood but it is, because that's the nature of it, man. That's how it rolls. You buy and sell. You buy and you sell anything you possibly can.
and like seeing what the need might be. Like, I guess if people are getting food, or they need, like, he's trying to like create a convenience.
Yeah.
It seems
And people buy them, obviously. Some people do.
right.
But you're always you want to look for that little niche, that little thing that you can sell that in the right moment, in the right place and time that other people don't have, that they're not selling. Yeah.
And
It's crazy.
to be in tune with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And and I'm not romanticizing any of it, right? This is not like I'm not romanticizing, but the point being, this is what human beings do. And like I find it utterly fascinating. Is like you do, Elijah. You were saying it's like World in Conversation taught you to talk to people and not be afraid of them and to humanize them, right? That means you could come down here, you'd start speaking with this guy. If you could speak Spanish, you'd be like, dude, where did you live in Venezuela? What was your life like there? Like, how'd you get here? What's it? You just treat him like a human being, man, and he'd want to tell his story, and that's the nature of it. And I'm not going to do it because I don't want to put him on the live stream like that without permission, and it's too much of a hassle. But it's like,
right.
People are good. They're not lazy. Most people are not lazy at all. And they might be lazy in one part of their lives, but mostly we're not. And mostly we want to do the best we can for ourselves and other people around us, and for other people around us, so.
Right. Like, and it's so great to say that, because instead of like judging their circumstance, they can, with what they have. And, like, just because it doesn't equate to what somebody else is, make them lazy, they're working with what they have. It sounds like.
Yeah. You work with what you got, man. And they're like, I was talking to this Venezuelan guy here. By the way, you'd see this guy with the little thing on his back. These are the food delivery guys. I could take you down to where they all hang, and there's just hundreds of these guys, man, just waiting to deliver food or deliver something somewhere. But anyway,
do they have DoorDash there, or is it something different?
Yeah. Yes, this is like DoorDash. This is their version of DoorDash. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Hundreds. That's wow. I see Uber drivers just spot sometimes.
Yeah, it's just like that's how we roll,
Right.
And like, so I forget what I was saying. Like, so I'm not like romanticizing, but oh no, I know what I was saying. Like, you could talk to this guy, and he'd want to tell his story. He'd want to be like, just be spoken with like a human being. You can see it when I gave that guy the 100,000 pesos, the $25. it was like when I asked him what his son's name was. Is this your son? And he said, yeah. And he had this big, huge smile on his face. It's my son, man. He's out working with me. The son looked like he was probably 7 years old, and he's going through trash with the father. And the father
Wow.
and the father was proud. That's his son, man. People are proud of their kids. He's proud of his son. I wish I could have put them
Wow.
on the stream, but I didn't. I just didn't want to do that. Like, it's not
Yeah,
necessary.
because you don't know.
But like, yeah, it's just like, man, this is. I don't know. It's crazy. I guess
No,
I will say that I feel honored. I really appreciate the opportunity that I have to experience these things and then to show other people some of what's really cool in the
yeah,
world.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
I
good,
I
man.
agree. It's beautiful to reveal and like have that for you to have the opportunity and then to reveal those aspects of life that you see and show the beautiful parts of it when a lot of times there's negativity and darkness surrounding some
Yeah.
things,
And, and fear. Yeah.
right.
And fear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
Yeah,
here's something
it's
that's interesting.
essential.
Back during the student uprisings, um, not the student uprisings per se, but this is a grave marker for this young man who was killed. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah,
During the protest, it was protest, you said?
yeah, during the protests, yeah, police killed him.
Wow.
This was
Police
15
did.
years ago, though. Yeah, so
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, it's
Man.
intense, right? You see it,
Yeah,
right? You get it. There's another Issy Cloudlight guy. Man,
with the cart.
there's
Wow.
they're all over. Yeah, these carts, and like
That's
they're going up and down this really busy street, right? So you can see this guy here, right? And he's empty
mm-hmm.
right now, but that thing's gonna get filled, and and then he's walking right down the street, man. And like, look how busy this street is. And he's just like, yeah, I'm on the side of the road. And he's not going to go up on the sidewalk. And the cars are just going to go around him. And they're not going to be uh, like honking at him and pissed at him or whatever, right? Because he's doing a service. Like
Right.
he's the recycling service for the city. He's keeping it clean. So people will just
Wow.
go around him and he's taking up a whole lane down there. That's the way it is.
Wow.
And you just
Yeah.
deal with it, man. That's like the
Wow.
communitarian gesture.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just thinking about I like that label, communitarian gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was also thinking it's like it's really cool how that's been a job that's created because like when I see if I
Yeah.
go to New York City and I see home and I see people that are unhomed and when they're carrying carts, it's not that they're carrying carts full of recyclables. It's like picking up things that they found and
Yeah.
um, but it's different. Like um, it's not the
Yeah.
same, like they're trying to create a living for themselves here.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally, man.
And over there,
Totally.
it's more so just trying to gather to outside,
Yeah.
in a way. And,
Yeah.
it's a cool
And we
role
need,
that has been created in this city.
yeah.
Very-
Yeah. Yeah. It's so fascinating, man. And
Yeah,
it's really tough, man. It's a tough life. I can't even imagine. I watched some of them with a full cart, maybe at like 11 o'clock at night or something. 10 o'clock, I'll see them here and they're headed back. And I know that they're going to travel again, like 6 miles to unload that. So here comes this guy coming toward us, right? This
right.
guy. And like, you can see, do you see him coming? Like,
Oh
this
yeah,
cart will get so heavy. Some of these carts at the end of the night will get so heavy that it takes two or three people to pull it down.
wow,
Once he lets go of it and it goes like really high up, then he has
wow,
to get a couple of people to pull the cart down. This guy's
wow,
probably Venezuelan, right? He's got this cart, put it together. Yeah.
wow,
It's all over the city, man. Crazy.
wow.
That's
That is
Yeah,
It
that's why I don't
really puts
complain
things into
about my
perspective.
job. Yeah. That's why I don't
Yeah.
complain about my job, man. Yeah.
Right. That's it's medicine. That
Yeah.
in a weird way, like because
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to
But I
say that
also,
because that sounds
but
weird,
no,
but
no, but it really also is a problem. You think you have to, hola, buenas. You, you have to have a certain amount of experiences to understand the different stations in life in which we live, right? So,
right.
I've spent time with billionaires and millionaires and the poorest of the people in the world. And
Yeah,
and I can appreciate the differences.
right,
And
right. And
yeah, it's
appreciate the
cool.
differences, and then like the way that you can appreciate your life different, or just like what
Hang on, look at
like
this
what you're
guy over here.
saying.
Hang on, I got to take you to this Recyclable guy. He's got his dog in the back. I don't know if I
Oh,
can catch up to him, but he's
oh,
like
he's moving, huh?
constant. Yeah, hang on, man. I got to go fast. Hang on. He's got, yeah, everybody has dogs here, man. Even the Recyclables have dogs. Because
Wow,
your
just
dog is company, right? Like your
yeah,
dog is going to be like, hang on.
it's
I'm going to speed up.
keeps you going, keeps you like emotional
Dude.
support.
Oh, he just turned the corner. Anyway,
Dang,
I
he
can't
got
get to him,
away.
but
Dang,
yeah.
he's fat. He's
Oh yeah,
super
your dog
fast.
is your friend, right? So it's cool.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, man.
It's so cool.
We yeah.
Or
Yeah,
it's not cool. It's
we're
just
all the
so
same,
it's
man.
life. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's that we're you see we're
It's
all the same. Look at all these
it's
kids here, man.
yeah.
Isn't that cool?
And it's beautiful and inspiring to just to see life in that way. And
Yeah. Yeah.
like you're saying, it's more not cool, inspiring
And to
perspective.
see life in a place
And
that you might we might be afraid to travel, right? Because like, oh, I don't
yeah,
know, Colombia. Like I don't know if I could go there, you know.
right. It's like
And
yeah, right.
yeah.
Like majority of people are worried about how
Yeah. And
to
it's
get their
just
needs.
yeah, it's cool, right?
So
I love
cool.
it. Yeah.
Heck yeah. This
All
is
right,
great,
man.
Sam.
All right. Well, the dogs haven't really fully populated it yet, so I'll take some video and post it.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
put it on the
man.
stream. And
All right.
enjoy
Jeff,
yeah, the rest of your
all right.
time in that beautiful place.
Yeah, I got one more day. I'll be back on Friday.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. We'll
Yeah.
enjoy that. Thanks for the tour for us in the
Yeah,
spring.
yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it's cool.
Next time we are
Heck yeah.
live, it will be for the first class of the semester. So see you all on Tuesday of next week.
Dang.
Heck
Tuesday. Tuesday of next week. It's big. Hey Jeff, did we ever we know at some point maybe in our next stream we have to say something about that podcast I did in Korea that we never really talked about and put it out there. Maybe we did. I don't remember.
I'll
But
put it in. I'll put the link in chat. I think we have talked about it before, but for those of you who don't know, Sam did a podcast called the My Perfect Path podcast while he was out in Korea. And I'm going to go ahead and send it in the chat. So you guys check that out.
yeah, the only thing about it is that's kind of cool is I talked a lot about my personal my life, my path trajectory and so on. But
Mm,
all right,
mhm.
man. Well, listen, we'll leave. Well, I'm gonna sign off with the kids playing. Maybe I'm gonna jump in there. I think if I jump on that little teeter totter thing, I'll be like, they'll kick me out.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I love how we're all lined up to play. Yeah, it's cool. It's like,
That's so funny. Let me know how that goes.
all right, I'll let you know if I get arrested. Like,
Right.
I'll jump on it. I'll jump on it like the one end real hard, and some kid on the other one will go, whoa.
Just create some mischief. They'll be like,
Yeah.
what'd you say? They're gonna say, what's this gringo doing?
Es gringo, yeah. Es gringuito.
That's awesome.
All right. Listen, man. We'll be in touch. All right.
Sweet.
Sounds good. See
And
everybody.
if the dogs really get popping here, I might just hop back on the stream for a hot minute if the dog's
Yeah,
playing.
yeah.
If I get
Heck
a
yeah.
chance. All right, man. All right, we'll see you all. Be well.
See you.
Enjoy.
Yeah.